I now give the floor to the Islamic Republic of Iran for its second intervention, which will be a maximum of 5 minutes. Iran.
Thank you, Mr. President. My delegation is taking the floor for the second time in the exercise of the right of reply to the baseless accusation leveled and fallacies posed by delegation of Saudi regime against my country. The treacherous collusion of Saudis with Israeli regime against Iran, as confessed by ex-Prime Minister of the regime of occupied Palestinian territories, and later confirmed by the Saudi Foreign Minister in his statement, shall be remembered by the people in the Arab world. It should not be considered coincidental that both of them concentrated their statements on attacking Iran. Saudi regime is heavily engaged in wars of aggression, regional bullying, destabilizing behavior in risky, provocative, and absurdly blames others for their consequences. Iran is not responsible for any of many wrong choices that Saudi has made in recent decades. In fact, no one except the Saudi regime itself should be blamed for its mistakes. Suppression of democratic movements in the Persian Gulf region, overwhelming support for the terrorists in Syria and other countries in conflict in Middle East, or financial and ideological nurturing of all major terrorist groups in the world cannot be attributed to others. They are Saudi's faults, and they reflect the very nature of the corrupt and unelected ruling family. It is time for Saudis to stop signing checks and to accept outcomes of their wrong choices. Saudi-born Takfiri ideologies act like an invasive species that attempt to uproot all other variations and bring them to the brink of extinction. If the staggering number of Yemeni kids killed by Saudi missiles are not strong enough to reveal the true face of Saudis, if thousands of Syrian kids who were murdered by the terrorist-funded, dispatched, and ideologically nurtured by Saudis are not enough to expose their hypocrisy on humanitarian aids, if the systematic violation of human rights of minorities in Saudi is not sufficient enough to alarm the world, if the ruthless silencing of all dissidents, in particular butchering Khashoggi in Saudi regime consulate general, who dare to criticize corrupt unelected royal family, is not worrying Saudi allies, if the official slavery of hundreds of thousands of women and girls, migrant workers inside Saudi, and their abject living conditions do not speak of horrible nature of Saudi system, then something is going seriously wrong. And then the world should await for even worse brutality and clothed sitting of Saudi regime violation and even more serious atrocities. Seizing this opportunity, I would like to stress that while there are deliberate provocation attempts by certain circles inside and outside of the region, hindering maritime navigation in Persian Gulf, all measures by the Iranian forces
Sorry, 5 minutes have left.
and have always
5 minutes
been,
have left, please.
I shorten it, solely aimed enforcing related laws and regulations in support of inter alia, preserving laws and orders, protecting the
Excuse me,
maritime
5 minutes have left.
environment,
5 minutes have left.
safety and security, maritime navigation, ensure the flow of energy. Since the Saudi regime has blamed Iran.
Excuse me, please. We really need to close this at 5 minutes as agreed, please. There is a second round. No, this is the agreed time.
There is a...
No. Please. Thank you very much. I thank the representative for his second right of reply. 5 minutes was agreed to, please. Thank you.